Strung too tight.
Hi, this is Justin from Strung Too Tight UK and welcome to another string review. Today it's the Dyreex CubeMax. Now, total disclosure, I do a lot of Dyreex string reviews and that's because I stock a lot of Dyreex string. I purchase all of the string myself. I get a standard stringers trade discount, so I don't get any kickbacks at all from supporting Dyreex. I do it because they're a great bunch of people to work with, very good communications, and most importantly they produce great strings and they cover the whole range of stringing needs from high spin to high comfort. That's the reason why I'm doing so much promotion, as it were, for Dyreex, because I'm really happy as a customer selling those strings to my customers as a stringer. So I was fortunate last week to be playing in 3 of my club championship finals, in the men's singles, in the men's doubles and in the mixed doubles. I'm happy to say that I was using CubeMax as a maximum spin producing option on the shale courts to give me that little bit more of an edge, and I'm pleased to say that I won all 3 finals. So I'm not saying at all that it was a particularly high level. I'll be the first to admit it's a relatively small pond at my local club, but importantly I used the string specifically for enhancing my performance on a surface that responds well to spin, and CubeMax delivered. So let me go into a little more detail as to why the CubeMax is such a great string when you're looking for a string that produces extreme levels of spin. First of all, it's a square cross-section. The corners or the edges, they're a little bit rounded, but they're still pretty sharp. What that means is that it glides over the cross strings and you get great snapback, but also the cross section means that it's going to bite really hard into that ball. So it's always going to produce huge levels of spin. It's a fairly heavy, fairly dense string. The string that I used was at 1.2 gauge, which is supposed to be very thin, but it seemed to me that it was a little thicker than some of the round cross-section strings that I have of a larger gauge even. But what that means is that it produces great levels of control as well, because there's a lot of string on ball on contact. Now, I've done some checking on stringingpedia.com, which is a resource for stringers, which gives you a number of graphs and performance statistics of a wide range of string. And one of the things that I would say is that when I did my initial review before looking on Stringingpedia earlier in the year, I'd mentioned that I felt that it just produced extreme levels of spin on a par with the legendary Vice Cannon Ultra Cable, which is actually a square cross-section string, but it's got sharp edges. Well, checking on Stringingpedia in their tests, it actually outperformed that legendary string for both control and spin. So as it stands at the moment, I don't know of another string that produces more levels of spin and control than the Dyreex CubeMax. If that's the string that you want and you can cope with a fairly firm string, I would suggest that you have it only in a hybrid setup in the mains. Then that's the string for you. If you've got a big loopy swing producing vast amounts of topspin, well, you're going to find that your competitors are going to find it very difficult to get those balls back if you've got the Dyreex CubeMax in your racket. So that was my review of the Dyreex CubeMax. I would recommend it as a performance string to performance players playing at perhaps Division 2 and Division 1 level, or local league level and above. Somebody looking for that little bit of an edge, that little bit more spin just to overcome the opposition. The compromise, as there is a compromise with everything, is it's a fairly firm string, so it's not going to be as comfortable as some of the other strings on the market. But you will find that with all high spin producing strings, that is always the compromise. So you need somebody who's got a good, full, comfortable, accurate swing that's going to produce the goods and get the most out of CubeMax. So stay tuned on Strung Too Tight UK for more reviews and more injury prevention tips, and as always, enjoy your tennis.
strung too tight.